your own.
Good afternoon, VV Nation. Happy Friday. Lots of good reasons to be excited today. First one, it's Friday, right? We all know that. All right, everybody. The alert should be hitting here any moment. I did set that as long as I set it correctly. Everyone should be making their way into the room here in just a second. Now, if you can hear me, if you can see me, just put VV appropriately in the comment section, and we will get started. Bill says Bitcoin, $117,000. So Bitcoin finally... Oh, there we go. Bitcoin finally hitting my target price. I don't know if you guys remembered. I even mentioned it in the short I did earlier today. I did the Bitcoin 500K video. I think I was in December. Coming off the cup and handle formation, right? Drew the line, symmetrical target. Brought me to around 118,000. We just hit the target from the cup and handle formation of Bitcoin. Am I saying the run is over? No, but just be careful there. Let's see here. Just hit Marvin. Yes, Marvin, Sherry, Shaw. We got Brad in the room. Congratulations, guys. We'll be, let's see here. All right. Sorry, I was looking at something over there. All right, let's get started into the VectorVest app here. Now, as we're taking a look at the major indices, just taking a look here, they all gap down, showing weakness, right, over the in the after hours. But also, other than the NASDAQ, if we look at the VectorVest Composite and the Dow Jones, we're trading at session lows, right? So we are seeing a little bit of weakness in the market as of right now. If you take a look at the advanced market timing signals, we got the confirmed up situation still up. DEW is still up. Green light buyer is still up. And even the primary wave is still up. Phyllis Martin says class action suit against BBAI. Yes, someone commented that in the comment section on Monday's video. But since I did that video, there was no follow through since that video. And also, the video did really well, 20,000 views. Go figure. The one stock I was actually really excited about, NEGG. No one watched it. I think it got like 1,000 views. Who bought NEGG? I put NEGG in the employee contest portfolio here at VectorVest. Guess what? Your boys ranked #1 in the VectorVest community. Or, sorry, not the community. The VectorVest employers, I should say, or employees. As far as performance, it's just a fun competition. We do get little payouts, and I think at the end of the year, whoever's in first, maybe the first 3 spots get a little payout. But it's good, fun competition amongst us here at VectorVest. And I took #1, and guess what? I am up 132% so far this year in the employee contest portfolio. Primary wave is down since open. Lee. Good eye. Tonight's 6 p.m. video. Everyone wants to talk about it. When to hedge. When should I take profits? Is the market, too high right now? That's tonight's presentation. No stocks, simply market timing. So I just want to put that out there. Boston, #1 in the VV contest. Whoop, whoop. Don't worry, Boston. I'll pin your comment. Whoop, whoop. #1 because of NEGG. It was a short squeeze candidate. And I love the company itself. It's pretty much the online version of Super Micro Center. If you're a big computer nerd like myself, you'll probably know what it is. If you don't build computers, if you don't buy computer parts, AMD graphics cards, processors, things of that nature, fans, coolers, you probably don't have a clue what NEGG is. But there's some opportunity there. I even bought the dip this morning when it hit its intraday 200-day moving average. Pivoted back up, and I closed the position on my NEGG within. So I'll just full disclosure: if you're in NEGG, it's pretty much a bag. Depending on when you got into it. But since I've done the video, it's been a bagger in 1 week. Buy closed out. I think it was $39. I bought the dip this morning, wrote it back up $39. Cashed out 132%. I will say this: second place though within the VectorVest content. The employees here, it's some stiff competition. Second place was 126%. So as soon as I surpassed that 132, I called it quits. I'll let them make the next move. But right now, I'm in first place. So I'm not going to try to, protect profits, right? That's what it's all about, especially with the primary wave down. We saw Bitcoin Who's a hodl? Who's hodling over here in the comment section? Bitcoin, $118,000. XRP literally traveling to the moon as we speak right now. Bill Ryan, primary wave is down. Yes, it's flashing down, right? I know right here it's going to say up because technically we are in an up signal still, unless we get the close today less than 5 days ago, right? So we're close to that. And actually, we'll talk about that. Let's scroll down. Let's talk about this primary wave since we're on the subject, everybody. You see, look at that price action. 73.38, right? Lower than it was not yesterday, 5 days ago, coming off July 3rd, 73.92. Therefore, if you take a look at the trend column, primary wave flashing down, right? It's done this twice. Bill says no on NEGG. Yeah, I wouldn't, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do, but, as of right now, it's just a fast moving stock. I just sold my position. So if I just sold my position, I'm not going to advocate jumping in NEGG now. If you're in it, hey, have a plan in place, have some kind of stop in place. But if you're up, 60, 70, 80, almost 100% in a week, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. All right. So that being said, primary wave. So looks like we probably are going to finish today unless we get a nice rally in the second half of the day. I did see AMD was rallying. That was up 5% today. Nice move on AMD. But yeah, it looks like we are going to get the primary wave down signal. I ain't got no crystal ball, but unless we get a nice, really nice afternoon rally, that's going to be the case. But so come Monday, though, this is what I want you to pay attention to, and this is what I talk about in the video tonight. I'm not going to go too much detail because you got to watch the video. But look at Mondays, 73.31, right? So if the VectorVest composite can hold where it's at right now, essentially, might just be a little whipsaw on the primary wave down. Might say down today, might go back up Monday. So just know that we're on that, teetering point of the primary wave right now. So am I saying go out and sell all of your stocks? No, not by any means, right? If you want to start getting defensive, start taking profits, that's on you. I'm going to go in a little bit more detail. What things to look out in the VectorVest 7 system. That is tonight, 6 p.m. market timing. Again, no stocks this week. Yeah, look at those declines, 67.1%. That's pretty broad market to the downside as far as momentum, I will say. And as we scroll through here, let's go back up. Let's take a look at the intraday. First, we'll look at the VectorVest composite here. Let me take off our valuation. Lower graph, show value. All right. The gap down this morning, right? Look at that. We are going right into session lows. That's what I was saying. It would be nice if we finished with the primary wave up signal today, but it doesn't look like we're going to get that. So, and obviously there's been updates on tariffs. Again, I don't like to get political, but if there's anything, discouraging coming out over the weekend, we could get that gap down on Monday, which would confirm that primary wave. So as far as today, I'm of the mindset, definitely don't buy anything new or add to your portfolio. And as far as hedging your portfolio, if you are going to do it, I'd be very tiptoe-ish about it right now. I wouldn't be jumping all in and hedging right now because you could get whipsawed come Monday. But definitely have your head on a swivel. Now is the time to at least be cautious. Keep these things, on your radar going forward. But tonight's video going a little bit more detail on those matters. Now let's see what's actually moving the market here. Let's go trade pick ideas. I am curious because we do have, where's it at? ETFs. These are the cryptos. Look what's at the top of the list. Ethereum. I've been telling y'all, do not sleep on Ethereum. Ethereum has not hit a new high, I think it was since 2021, right? All the focus has been on Bitcoin and Solana stealing a lot of market share, right? Because they've got the ecosystem. It was a layer one ecosystem like Ethereum. That's their biggest competitor, Solana. But look at Ethereum. Franklin up 5%. Ultra Bitcoin 5%. 2 times leverage 5%. Ethereum, Bitcoin. Where's the little XRP at? Might get a little XRP in here. 2 times Bitcoin strategy. Again, that's a micro strategy here. There it is. XXRP. double leverage, 18%. That's what I was saying. It's going to the moon. And this is kind of how I'm looking at crypto right now. Bitcoin, that's the easy, I'm not going to say easy, but the safer play, right? That's kind of like the NVIDIA, a Mag 7. Ethereum, kind of like a Mag 7, but just a little bit smaller market cap, right? It's not gonna be as wild, as volatile as some of these other meme coins or things of that nature. So just keep that in mind here. But Ethereum, Bitcoin, you can see as I scroll down the list here, the ETFs, they are rocking and rolling. Look at that, HODL up 2% here. I like Bitcoin. If my cup and handle video has I've been covering that since last fall, since Bitcoin was around 60,000. It's now doubled essentially, or close to it since then. So hopefully that commentary and my insights have helped put you on the right side of the Bitcoin trade. Prakash, any news on Glenn? Glenn's recovery is coming along nice and smooth. As far as any kind of official update or statement, I don't have that at this time for you, unfortunately. All right, let's get into the premium watch list here, as I do want to take a look at some other things. We're seeing weakness in the market. So I want to see if we're seeing any strength in gold today, right? See if we're seeing any strength in gold today. Look at that. Endeavor, Silver Corp, up 6%. Kinross Gold up today. If I'm just scrolling down, just a little bird's eye view here, they're in positive territory. Gold is holding, right? Not too surprised by this. There's a bit of a pullback in gold. So again, if you're thinking of hedging, things of that nature, maybe taking some profits and some tech stocks. I'm not saying buy the gold today, but at least have the cash ready to see if there's any gold opportunities in the future, especially as we get closer to these deadlines, right? Tariffs are back in the news. I think Canada's getting 35%. China, not quite a deal yet. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, remember the tariff playbook. It was precious metals, gold, and foreign entities, foreign banks, foreign ETFs, things of that nature. Fox says ASM on fire right now. I'll take a look at ASM and see exactly what's going on with that position. Now, to scroll back here, let's take a look at some stocks. See if there's any fish to be had today. Where shall we look for stocks today? Let's go quantum computing. All right, quantum computing watch list here. Look, NVIDIA, 166, remains above that $4 trillion market cap. I like what I see there. Voice levels change every time you look away from mic. Maybe direct voice in line with mic. We'll see here. Well, the problem is I have the iPad over here. I got to look at the iPad over to my right, unfortunately. Now, if we take a look at these stocks here, AMD, look at AMD up 0.8% here, NVIDIA up 1%, AMAT, Google. Let's see what the more quantum stocks are doing here, the more speculative names, such as Qubits, look, down 5%. Qubit, down 5% here. Rigetti, where's Rigetti? Down almost 5%. Seals Corp, down 5%. Weeme is actually up right now at 352. Atom, Quantum Co. Yeah, so if you're holding the quantum stocks, be careful. Okay? Now, where was it at here? Contra ETFs. Let's look at the Contras today. First, we're going to start with DOG, right? Everyone wants to know, when should I be doing some Contras? Let's do 3 months. DOG, if you take a look here, the 3 getting ready to, it's converging right now, potentially crossing above it, right? So just be careful if you are bullish in the market right now, because again, we got the primary wave down. I'd like to see follow through come Monday. The 3 still below the 8 here when it comes to DOG, but you're seeing that momentum start to change pace here. If we look at the Russell, again, price action approaching that 8-day, 3 converging closer to the 8-day, but still in a bearish manner, right? So if a Contra ETF is in a bearish manner, that means the market's typically bullish manner, right? You can see, let's see here, that's the 500, S&P 500 here. So it all looks like they're getting close to converging with a 3 and 8. So again, still a little early when it comes to Contra ETFs or hedging. just based on what I see here on the chart. But it is probably a good idea. At least get, whatever type of hedging strategy, contra ETFs, options, that kind of stuff. At least get the wheels turning on what your next move is going to be, right? Whether it's, cashing out of the positions, taking profits, or putting insurance on these positions, through covered calls, protective puts, things of that nature. Let's scroll here. Where's the NASDAQ? There we go. PSQ, Pro Short, QQQ. Again, same scenario as the other major indices here. 3 converging closer to the 8, but just not quite getting that crossover. If we see some more downside action come Monday, that primary wave stays confirmed, these moving averages look like you might get a crossover here on some of these major indices. Probably early next week if downside momentum continues, right? Let's see here. Best retirement stocks. Let's see here. Let's go back to this list here. What else we got on here? Let's look at the semiconductors here. We got Advantis Corp at the top of the list now, actually outpacing Nvidia when it comes to its Nvidia or VST. Let's take a look at Advantis. That's a huge run from $40 upwards to closer to $80. Now it's sitting at $76.98. The only thing is, it's just overvalued. $64.99. There's a great value opportunity there with this position. Now, not so much, right? So it's overvalued. The trend is still in the favor. The buy rating still holds if you're in it. Not going to freak out by any means. But just know that once a value play, no longer a value play. I'm going to put it in the momentum category here. What other semis are moving on here? Broadcom, obviously a good one here. A-Lab. Let's take a look at A-Lab here. Right above that 20-day simple moving average. Strong buy rating. Again, some of these semis, though, overvalued. If you want value, NVIDIA, where is NVIDIA's value now? It might be fully valued. Fairly valued, right? It's just below it. We got 171. Currently trading at 166. AMD, let's see where its value at right now. 154, we're trading 155. Fairly valued, right? These stocks were greatly undervalued. The market did a great job mispricing them. So hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of some of those prices with the videos I put out over the last few months here. Let's take a look at some of these others. Other than some of the main ones, pretty mixed bag when it comes to semiconductors overall, though. Let's scroll back here. See what the buzz stocks are about. See, Meta's down, Carnival Cruise. Ooh, let's take a look at Micron. Here's another popular stock. It's sitting right at that 20-day simple moving average from the pullback. If it can stay above that simple moving average, I would remain bullish. Especially if you're more of a swing trade, just coming off the bottoms there from those 70 levels. You're up quite a bit in your position right now if you're able to, get close to that market bottom. But look, rising earnings per share. I like what I see. The company, you were getting $3 of earnings per share, and the company was actually trading higher than it was now. Again, this is a year ago. Right now it's trading, $123, but you're getting close to $9, around $9 of earnings per share. So you're getting triple the amount of earnings per share as if you were a buyer in this, 12 months ago. So I do like that when it comes to Micron. As I scroll through here, we got Amazon up today, $225. Very nice. Google is up today. Microsoft. We got Palantir coming at $142. What's Palantir doing here? That looks pretty nice to me. Let's see if we can break out of this level of resistance here. That resistance going to come in just around 150. Right now, it's just shy of 143. So just see if that, if we can get another breakout, if we can get another leg to this run, that would be ideal, right? As I scroll back here, let's see what the high momentum stocks are doing with Midas Touch. We got CLS here. Now that is about as nice of a chart as you're going to get. 3 mains above the 8, just coming off that 8-day moving average here, the 8-day EMA. Yeah, all the moving averages are in our favor. So if you're in CLS, I'm not going to be too concerned at the moment. Troy Freyer and MU looks like is undervalued. I like Micron. Again, I did the video on it 2 weeks ago. Yeah, right around its earnings. Pulled back, hit my pivot point right around that 20-day EMA. It's rocking and rolling again now. But look at that. Earnings on ISC continues to rise. Great position. Sterling. This is another great position. Lower left, upper right. It looks like we might get another breakout. That 240 level approaching it right now. 237.50. Keep that one on your radar. CRS, Carpenter Technology Corp. Again, up another. Looks like about just over 1% here. But look, lower left, upper right. Earnings per share. Lower left, upper right. I like what I see. These are great stocks here. Broadcom, nice run up. Wow, and look at that. This thing keeps moving. This thing was just about $40. It's about to get one in the bag here in just 3 months. I like that. Amphenol, again, rising earnings. Price action on the rise. Strong buy rating across the top. It hasn't had a hold since April, right? So if this is a position you're holding, look to see if the hold rating comes out. If we lose the buy rating, goes to a hold, maybe put the brakes on it a little bit. But again, it all depends on when you got in and what your objectives and what your goals are here. Here we got Hood Markets. It's approaching $100. Another all-time high. 99.96. Rising earnings. I like what I see here. We got ISSC. Here's another one. $14. Earnings per share coming in at just over 60 cents here. Whew. Now, this one I will say, if you have been in this run, be careful. It's starting to roll over here. Broke through that level of support. Broke through the 20-day moving average. So just be careful when it comes to innovative solutions and support. Now, as far as Quanta Services, another big mover. Lower left, upper right. We're seeing some consolidation, right? A little tightness on the trading range here from support to the prior high about 4 candlesticks ago. So just want to have that on your attention. Might be another breakout here for another run to the upside. Rising earnings. I like it. I like it. Royal Caribbean got a double on Hood. Time for covered calls. Oh, you got double bag fits on Hood? So yeah, definitely I would be selling calls. Get your dollar cost average down, head it, especially if you don't want to sell it. But with Bitcoin hitting 118,000, I don't have to, I haven't even looked at it, but I can only imagine Coinbase is up today. I would be shocked if Coinbase is down. I might have to look at Coinbase. Anyone know? I'm going to say it's up because of Bitcoin. That would be and XRP and the rest of them are running right now with Bitcoin. Seagate Technology. Look, these are all high momentum plays. If you don't take advantage of this, this is the Midas touch list. It looks at high momentum plays, but they don't want to just, we don't want to give you any momentum plays. The stock's got to have at least 3 months worth of momentum. We use moving averages of RT. As long as it's got that 3 months perspective, it means it's sustainable. These things might have a little bit more room to run, right? Coin down. Really? It is down? Who else should put a 1 in the comments section if you're shocked that Coinbase is down right now? I'm kind of, like I said, I haven't looked at it this morning, but I am shocked that it is down this morning. We'll take a look at Coinbase when we go to your picks here in just a few. Coinbase will be on me today. But yeah, down 3%, Bill? What? That is crazy. Interesting. CONL, that's the double leverage, right? So I guess, yeah, regular down 1.7. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm kind of surprised by that because normally if Bitcoin's running, coin is going to run with it. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe people are just buying Bitcoin instead of buying coin. There's so many derivatives now of Bitcoin, right? I bid up 3%, 1%. I am shocked myself, Bill, that that is down today. I would think with Bitcoin and enthusiasm, Coinbase, maybe I could see with the market. I mean, it's not down much, 1.65. Maybe the market in general is just dragging it down. But with Hood slightly in positive territory, I would have thought, coin, maybe up 0.5%, but it looks like it is down about 1.6 today based on that news. Let's see here. Let's actually look at something real quick. Where is that? We're going to look at, might do the top. What is this? America's top 10 performing stocks. Let's see if there's any good ones here. That's Celestica, CLS. That's a high-flying stock. IESC, good one. Kratos Defense. Look at this. Let's take a look at Kratos Defense here. Whoo! That's a big boy right there. Look at that big old candlestick coming out. Buy rating up almost 12%. Oh, yes, Saxena. Circle. I wonder what Circle's doing today. Anybody know? Is that one up today? I would think that'd be up at least, because that's pretty... if you don't know the story behind Circle, that is USDC stablecoin. Please don't buy a stablecoin thinking you're going to make money off it. It's literally pegged to the dollar. It's easiest way to put it is it's like, in your regular portfolio. Circle down 7%. Okay. Circle was getting way that became a meme stock. I did a video on it like when it first came out. I got enthused about it, but then it just became way overpriced and then, a circus essentially. But Circle, they're behind the USDC. It's not even the largest stable coin. And again, stable coin is just how you go to cash essentially in your crypto portfolios or on your wallets on, the internet, right? It's like going to cash. It's just pegged to the dollar. I think you can stake it. But I actually do a video on staking crypto. That might be interesting. Does anyone here stake crypto? If you don't know what staking means, essentially that's like a dividend yield. That's pretty much the term in the crypto world. They call it staking. But easy way to put it, it's dividend yield. So if you own crypto, real crypto, especially in Coinbase, they'll tell you how much you can stake it. And, pretty much you just let it sit there and, collect a little interest on it. Some of them have high interest, some of them have low interest, right? The higher interest ones typically be a little bit more volatile, just like, typically with, stocks in general, right? As scrolling through here, Cato, that's a good one. Let's see if there's any other big movers coming in here. Ooh, Interactive Brokers. I know it's not a big mover, but let's see what we got here. It might be taking out that prior high. Let's go to 1 year. Yeah, you might get a breakout. You see we're sitting right at the prior high right now. So if we get a breakout, look for a retest, look for a pivot. This might actually be a good one to get into. But look, rising earnings. I like what I see here. Let's Google. Let's go back here. Let's go into the gold stocks. I wonder if they're doing any better here. Gold up 5%, 2 down. Mixed bag on the gold. Some of these have high momentum though. Look, New Pacific 7.9%. Fury. I don't know if you guys have ever talked to Rick on the support floor, if you ever called in, but he put me on a mining company a while back. I was kind of surprised. He gave me this mining company. Oh, I want to give you all a fish here. What is it? NEGG, if I remember. Yes, Northern Dynasty Minerals. This thing has got all kinds of lawsuits, EPA lawsuits, and it appears to be winning them. That's why you're seeing the breakout recently. But this stock was 20 cents. Rick Rivera gave it to me from the support floor. Now you can see it's at 212, even down today. Hit a high around 240. I'm not saying buy it right now, because obviously you just had a parabolic move. But maybe put this in your watch list, because this thing might have some big moves or opportunities going forward. And just breaking it down a little bit here. So we only value it at 10 cents still. A lot of speculation on new mining stuff, new mining permits out in Alaska. I'm pretty sure it's based in Alaska from what Rick told me. So this one might be a good one. Keep on your radar in your back pocket. Now let's see here. Let's go to the screener. Featured screens. Where's that? New buy rated stocks, right? 87. Should we buy Kratos or 2 parabolic? Tabula, I'm going to be of the mindset parabolic right now. It just jumped up quite a bit. When I joined, they say only 7 people watching. No, we got a lot more than 7. Groy, we'll take a look at Groy. So this is what I want to show you. This is new buy rated stocks, right? Stocks that just got a buy rating. Look what's at the top of the list. Orla Mining. right? I've been telling y'all, don't sleep on the gold. This pullback, and Steve Chappell, when he joined me on AMA Wednesday, we talked about gold, right? And gold is at a pivotal point. Not a bad spot at all. I think it was the 20-day EMA it was sitting at. And with this optimism to the upside right now, and obviously, market uncertainty coming back, tariffs, that kind of thing, I wouldn't quite, give up on gold quite yet. Looks like it's still soaring higher here. But look at some of these movers here. Nugget up 1.55%. Arrow Holdings, not much trading here. But you can see, look at this candlestick right here. The high that day is 28.55. If we can break out above that high, this thing might just rocket. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna treat it like a momentum play. There's not much data on this position in general. Earnings per share on the decline, actually negative. Value, it's overvalued here. Very little safety. Again, the stock was just done. ABB drone day today. Today's drone day. Nice. You like Groy? Actually, let's go get into stocks now. Let's go ahead and create a watch list. We start breaking down some stocks. All right, today we're gonna do 20 stocks. First 20 it comes across, put it in. Groy, I'm curious, so I'm just gonna put that one in here. It's a gold royalty. Excellent. NEGG, I'll put NEGG. So I talked about that one this week. BBAI, I'll talk about that one here. See here, MDXG, MLI, COF, JPM, KNT, KNT, Mark, which one? I got K92 Mining. Shoot, I gotta scroll back up the chat here. Hold on one second. All right, Marvel, okay. I like Marvel. You know what I mean? And the semiconductors. CLS, BAC, AVAV, okay. And someone put in Orla. I like UAMY. It hit my pivot point. I haven't looked at it today. Curious to see what it's doing. Unity. All right. MDT. K92. All right, Mark. Gotcha. Mark, you still holding the gold even through the pullback? I think a little gold in your portfolio. Is it going to be my swing trading, my fun play portfolio? Probably not. I'm going to treat it more like my long-term investments, right? I have a little Bitcoin, a little gold, maybe a little silver in there. Good quality stocks. Maybe a couple of the top quality Mag 7 stocks, and I think that is maybe a couple of ETFs for diversification, and I think that's a good portfolio. Keyboard clicks, noisy, BBAI. Oh yeah, I did put in BBAI, ASM. That's right, ASM. REMX. Oh, there's a Van Eck rare earth. Where's my pen at? I'm gonna write that one down. Thank you. And I think I even knew that. I forgot about it. It's just, there's like 10,000 stocks out there. It's hard to remember them all. So many different topics. REMX. I'm writing that one down. Mark says still holding gold for long term. There is, Mark. I don't know how you feel about Bitcoin. Some people hate it. Some people love it. Who knows? But there's an ETF. It's literally a Bitcoin gold ETF, and on their entire backing is gold and Bitcoin. I think that does the work for you, essentially. I think having a good blend between the two, the further you divert away from Bitcoin and start going to the Ethereum, Solana, XRP, maybe even Avalanche or Stellar, get a little bit more risky, right? So if you're more conservative, and crypto's already kind of, in your opinion, stick to the big ones. Stick to the big ones, and don't buy the hype. Buy it. I've said this a million times. Buy crypto when no one's talking about crypto. When people are saying it's crap and trash and blah, 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 it's usually going to be your best times to buy it. Because when everyone's a believer, it's already had its run. It's already had its run. AAOI. And then what do we got here? HIMS. Uber. We're going to finish out with Uber here. I think I missed that one. And then, Orly. All right, this will be the last one. We got Orly. That's the last one here. I think my mom has O'Reilly. It was either O'Reilly or was it Advanced Auto Parts? John Boston just joined. Did Ryan give away free TVs with all the crypto gains? Not today. John, not today. All right, SOFX. John, you got a stock? We're taking a stock. SoFi, yeah, SoFi has been on a run. Double leverage. I was thinking about doing a SoFi video today. I figured market timing would be better for the 6 p.m. slot. All right, John, you got a stock for us? You'll be the last pick, or if there's another one. SoFi, go figure. We got the double leverage and the regular. All right, let's take a look here. Create watch list. Boom. We'll delete. What is it here? 0711. Okay. Tabula, great question. Should we even be buying anything right now, as we are already well into July, right? It's in tonight's presentation. I've said it. Well, I guess it's in tonight's. You didn't hear about it, but no. Even on the homepage, I looked right now, and VectorVest says does not advocate buying stocks. Right? We've got 3 yellow lights. Primary wave down is flashing. Right? So I'm a lot less concerned about adding new portfolios, trying to squeeze the last few bucks out of this rally, right? And more concerned about protecting profits. So yeah, I'm going to say nope on buying new stocks right now, right? If you do, just know that could be shorter lived, maybe a smaller position sizing, things of that nature, right? But buying a full position with the MTI at 1.6 and a primary wave down flashing, who thinks that's a good idea? Put a 1 in the comment section if you think that's a good idea. Put a 2 in the comment section if you think that's just a horrible idea to buy a stock today, right? Ryan, have you looked at SGHC? I am in that one. It's doing well, and no one seems to be talking about that one. I haven't even heard about it, so let's add it. Let's add it here. Add stocks. SGHC. Well, we're going to talk about it. Yeah, dude, it's a horrible idea, in my opinion. I mean, think about it. If you're a subscriber, if you watch us, if you got access to the software, you're in the market most likely April, right? DEW up signal. If you got a little greedy, you know, if you nibbled an AMD, NVIDIA sub 100, like I was saying, not a bad idea. You're up quite a bit. In a little bit of time, right? A little bit of time. Bill says, yawn. Is this stock that boring, Bill? Bill, is it not bad? Did 4+ miles on the treadmill. Hey, 4+ miles, that's good, though. That's really good. I need to start running again. It's been a little while. But yeah, so these are the stocks here. Let's see what we got at the top of the list. CLS, ASM, SoFi double leverage, mining. Do we notice something here? I'm noticing gold. A lot of gold stocks at the top of this list here. Row 2, 3, Orla there. At the top, 7? And if we look here, Orla is positive 5%. K2 mining down, little flat, down less than 1%. ASM up 6.93%. I'm telling you, I think the momentum, if I was going to buy anything right now, it's probably would be limited to, gold, commodities, silver, things of that nature, or potentially defense stocks. If there's any kind of good pullback, any kind of good pivots to look out for there, I like the defense play still. Some of them, as we've seen, getting a little, obviously a lot of them getting a little overstretched. But that's where I would be more perceptive to buy stocks right now. A few riot buys. A few riot buys. All right, let's take a look at these. First one, CLS. It's approached our valuation here. It's fairly valued. We value the company at 163. Right now it's trading at 166. What is a good silver play? You're about to find out in just a second because ASM is a stock we're going to take a look at here in just a second. Overall value, safety, timing, rocking and rolling. Stock looks good. Let's go in the chart here. 3, 8, 20. Now, just looking at CLS here, anytime it gets close to that 8 days, probably a good buying opportunity. Otherwise, the 20-day EMA, there's only been one touch, one retest on that 20-day. Might be overdue for one. We're getting a little extended from that. I'm not going to say buy it. Again, I'm not in a buyer right now. But as far as, taking profits, anything like that, look to see if it loses its buy rating. Look to see if the price action drops below that 8-day moving average. Because in the meantime, this thing's rocking and rolling. And I want this, I want to give it enough room to run. Any drone stocks working? I haven't really seen much news in particular just on drone stocks. Here's ASM. Oh, wait, there we go. ASM, let's go to 3 month. Big move. We had the breakout yesterday on ASM, right? Nice full body candlestick up 7% today. Rising earnings. I like what I see here. The stock was at $2. I'm going to add value to our chart. Let's see what the value is. It's still undervalued. Look, this is my favorite chart pattern. Value on the rise, price action on the rise. Well, it just got overvalued territory. So just keep that in mind. But overall, I do like this. All the moving averages just got a fresh crossover, 3 trading sessions ago. So still kind of early in this upside momentum as far as this position here, ASM. We've got SoFi. This thing just won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Hit a point of consolidation. If it comes back and touches that 8-day, maybe that would be an entry point if we had some kind of, pivot there. But right now, with a full-body candlestick, if you're in it, hey, I cannot be mad at you. What do you mean? At some point you're going to take profits, but is today the day? No, it's still showing momentum today, right? The stock is overvalued, so I wouldn't get too emotionally attached to SoFi. Rising earnings per share. I like SoFi. I really like it. Let's go to a 5-year chart. $25. You see the triple top there, 25 from 5 years ago? I think price action is going to run pretty strong until it gets close to 25. See what happens. With the momentum we're seeing right now, we might just get a clear break. Otherwise, this thing's getting way overvalued because look what it's reminding me of. It was way overvalued during its IPO during the COVID days, came back down, hit our valuation, was fairly valued from July 2022 till late last year, essentially right before the holidays. But now it's getting in overvalued territory once again. That big boring thing in the middle, that's when I did my SoFi video. No one really, I don't think many people watched it. But if you did and you bought it, you're happy now. It may have taken a little while, but you're definitely happy now. Bill says, I have top stocks watch list with fast growers. Only 4 stocks are trading under the 20-day moving average. All the others are 20. Bull market pullbacks can easily go back to the 20-day. Yes, they can. They can definitely go to 20-day. I'm holding 2 Wii's. Good time to sell SoFi calls to hedge your long call if you have. John, I agree with that. Because that premium right now, and if I'm seeing a strong level of resistance around that 25, maybe wait for a little closer to that 25 because I'm still seeing a full body candlestick today. Or as far as the weekly here, let's go to 3 month. Now we know the 25 is the target price. Yeah, I'm not, I may not open up calls yet, but I'm thinking that thing's going to get a little closer to 25 before we see a pullback. Obviously, if the market goes to crap, that could change the narrative. But right now, that triple top back during its IPO time, during the COVID era, $25. Keep that on your radar, especially if you're holding SoFi. If it hits 25, you get a big rejection, you start losing profits, I don't want to hear it. I already told you 25. That's the one to look out for. Get loans for $2,000. Get a loan for $2,000. SoFi double leverage, same thing here. Again, I'm going to go off the SoFi initial stock, $25, right? I don't know what that's going to be in this ETF here, but when you see SoFi get closer to 25, especially if you're double leveraged, because you're going to lose these profits twice as fast, maybe then take some off the table or do whatever you wish, but just see what happens at around that $25 mark. If we get short-term rejection, wouldn't be surprised by that. Short-term rejection. maybe this upper wick here. Find level support. That high comes in around 2089. That might be an area around 21 bucks if it comes back to. All right. Next one we got Moeller Industries. Hey, this one here, we've talked about it. Look, exactly what I had a feeling would happen. Broke out, did the retest, little pivot, and now the last 4 trading session, it's off to the rally. I mean, we value the stock over 120 bucks. Currently trading under 90, rising earnings, and you're getting almost $6 per share when it comes to its earnings per share. I like what I see when it comes to Mullen. I mean, it's a pretty fresh entry point off that retest. But just keep in mind with MTI so high, could be short-lived, but otherwise I am more optimistic in that position. Now here's K92 mining. Since it's high back in early June, I do see the consolidate. What's the logical reasoning behind the beware of the July high saying, Tabula? Well, it was an essay that Dr. Toledo, Angie, has done in the past, been several of them. But typically, whatever reason the market likes to hit a high in July and then do its pullback. It's happened quite a few times in the past. MLI has a ways to go to hit a new high, but it looks like it will get there. MLI, let's see, a 1-year chart. Yeah, probably about 95 bucks. That's the prior high. So just be careful with that. You might see a little rejection in the short term off that prior high. Otherwise, we're heading right in that direction here. K92 looks good. Let's see here, 3 months. We're in consolidation right now. You can see the resistance level here around $11. We're getting rejection there again. $12 would be my comfort point. If I'm really looking for some confirmation around the $12, right? At Ryan, see Tabulous question, a good one. What is the logical reason behind? Yes. Again, I don't know exactly the logical reason. I just know the essay from Dr. Toledo. But apparently the market likes to push for a high in July and then take a breather, which makes sense because you got August, September, which August is not normally known, for a great month for the bulls. And as well as summertime. So there might be less volume in general. But yeah, for whatever reason, and if you have access to the VectorVest 7 software, I should read that essay. It's been a while. But it's called the July High, Dr. Toledo. You can search it in the Views tab within VectorVest 7, and that will give you that essay. Here's Supergroup. Look at nice lower left, upper right. Great undervalued play. Now it is overvalued, so I will say that. Rising earnings. But it's down the last 2 days. Let's go to a 1-year chart here. Yeah, it was greatly undervalued. But yes, just be careful. It does the same thing in November too. Rocks are, yes. November, I've noticed, I've been following the market since 2014. A lot of times in November, it depends what's going on that year. But the market will like to get ready for that holiday rally, right? So I've seen in November, you usually get a pullback. I think it was like last November. MTI was around the bottom fishing level. We had a nice little blast off going into the holidays. So yes, there are some seasonal factors to investing and trading as well. But the one thing I thought was curious is that the NASDAQ hit a new high, the S&P's hit a new high, the VectorVest composite has not. That's the only reason why I'm a little bit more optimistic that we might get a little bit more push to the upside, but it's only like $1 away. So is risking that extra dollar in the VectorVest composite, is that more important than protecting profits in your portfolio, right? I don't know. We'll see. Yep, builds in November. I definitely agree with that. Here's Orla Mining. Again, a lot of these mining companies coming off of those lows, but still in a channel, just like we saw with K92. But that momentum's to the upside right now. Moving averages to our favorite. This one I actually like a lot more just because of the valuation perspective. And it's not, an overbought territory. That looks like a triple. No, there's 4 tops there. Let's click on this. Go to 3 months. Yeah, we got big body candles. Actually, look at this. The moving averages are now all in our favor here. Price action above the 20-day simple moving average, just as of 3 days ago. Earnings per share on the rise, value on the rise. And the value keeps rising. Even with price action stagnant, you're getting more earnings per share and you're getting more value right now if you if you were to get an Orla. So I like gold right now. I'd be more in the tiptoeing position right now with gold because we're not getting all that confirmation there. But I just for some reason I have a gut feeling the closer we get to this tariff thing, gold might be running. All right, JP Morgan, lower left, upper right, value, lower left, upper right. I mean, it's JP Morgan. They aren't going anywhere. It's a down day today. You got the 20-day simple moving average, right? So if you're looking for a good buy opportunity on this stock, maybe take out yesterday's high. Look for that pivot off the 20-day moving average. Otherwise, if it breaks below it, get defensive if you're thinking more short-term profits, right? Otherwise, we could be losing that trend because price actions, several retests on that 20-day simple moving average, but it's still holding right now. So again, we're at this point where the stocks aren't really showing us enough. Well, I mean, depending on the stock, but a lot of these, not quite showing enough weakness to just exit the position just solely on the graph. Obviously you got your own, stops and goals and all that stuff in mind. But I'm not saying we're seeing signs of early weakness, right? Approaching it. As I'm saying, the market's got to get its act together. I would like it by Monday or Tuesday. Keep us in that primary wave up signal, right? I like a good primary wave up signal with a little cushion there. JPM is expanding in Virginia like crazy. What are they doing? Roxar? What side of Virginia are you on? I'm not far at all. I'll go up to Fancy Gap quite a bit. It's just right up there, do some hiking. Otherwise, I got some family outside Arlington, Fairfax, the DC metro area. I go up there quite a bit. Ryan, I trade GDX all the time for premium selling. I have to come clean and tell you, I have been trading premium in IBIT now, so that makes me a crapto trader now. John, it's okay, but I won't hold that you're making a couple bucks off of crypto against you. Not on a Friday afternoon. Come at me with that BS on a Monday, I might hold it against you. I'm just kidding. But yeah, again, there are ways to make money off your crypto derivative. Now, if you're not in the crypto realm and you're doing staking and all that stuff, yeah, just use options, on your IBIT. If I could sell calls against my Bitcoin every month and get my dollar cost average as low as possible, hey, I'm not mad at it. Building new banks everywhere. Central Virginia, an hour south from DC. Okay. Yeah. So you're over by Richmond then. Nice. I hate crypto. Neil says, saying you either love it or you hate it. I'm not going to say I love crypto. I'm not going to say I hate crypto. I'm just here to make money. That's what it comes down to. I ain't got no bias in my money making skills. But I've been a pretty big proponent of crypto before. The first time I bought crypto was in 2020. I think the summer of 2020 was Dogecoin. Doubled my money. Thought I was a genius. Boy, if I would have kept that Dogecoin, that was like back when it was 0.0000000 something. I'd still be working at VectorVest, but I might be doing a stream from a bigger boat or something. Because I think it's up like 40,000% since then, something crazy. I don't know. But yeah, JP Morgan still, again, if you need to diversify away from tech, obviously not the best day to be buying now, but JP Morgan in general, not a bad stock to have, right? Not a bad stock at all. Here's AeroVironment here. Look, AVAV, lower left, upper right. Look, it did not go into the gap. You see the low, see the pivot? Found some support in that body of the candlestick after the gap. Now we're getting a crossover to the upside. Actually, all the moving average, we got the 3, the 8, just crossed above, still above the 20. So yes, I do like what I see here. Unicorn Fart Dust coin was created by Ron at Ron's basement as a joke, and it took off. Yeah, they have a fart coin. That was like when I came in on the office on Monday and I put on what was it, Trader Live, the TV show. I think Thinkorswim is behind. They were talking about fart coin, and you just have there's different coins out there. There's just like there's meme stocks, there's meme coins. There just happens to be more meme crypto because that's kind of where people have taken it. But there's crypto for all kinds of things. Did Glenn used to call it BTCH coin? He might have. I know he called it Crapto coin. Crapto. SoFi shoulders need to stop. Yeah, the shorters, they might be getting stopped here because that's a short squeeze candidate. I saw the float. I think it was Google. When I Googled it, it was like 13-14%. Anyone know the float? The short interest on the float? Neil, do you know that? I want to say it was around 13-14%. At least that's when I Googled it on Google or whatever. But yeah, it looks like it's shaping up like NEGG, another short candidate that I talked about Tuesday. That one, a bag in less than a week. But as far as AeroVironment, I like it. There's no concern here. Obviously we had the pivot, didn't quite hit the 20-day. 14 per. Okay, yes, that's what I thought. So there is, a good amount of short interest in it. I mean, it's not like GameStop amount by any means. I think NEGG was even higher. NEGG was the highest stock with the short interest. And it had two crucial moving averages. It was RT moving averages, and I think it was the 150-200. That's why I really put it on your radar. Not only, and I even said that some institutional investing, some algorithm traders might get in and help push that up, and that thing is just going bananas right now. Going bananas. VV have a way to find high short interest stocks. No, we don't even track short interest in our thing. I mean, you could just Google it. Honestly, it takes just Google highest short and put take the top 10, put in a watch list, see what the charts are telling you. But again, if you're getting into the short interest thing, just that's very volatile, right? That's not investing, that's gambling. Buying ETFs currency, they are new ones buying the cryptos and bitcoins. XXRP is one. Yes, a lot of these institutions are buying crypto. They got to get it backed, right? VectorVest, CNQ. If we got time, we'll take a look at CNQ. I know we're to wrap it up here soon. But this one, look, Capital One, don't overthink it. Lower left, upper right. We're in a consolidation zone right now of the last 6 trading sessions. Take the high, take the low of that consolidation zone. See if we get a breakout, right? But I like the rising earnings on it. Here's Groy. Thank you for giving me this stock. Gold Royalty. No, thinking Riot. Riot is a miner. Riot will do good during rallies. But if you ever look at Riot on this chart, it's so much more volatile than Bitcoin. So if you're okay with volatility, you're okay with trading, you got some discipline, Neil, have at it. But yeah, it's volatile. It's very volatile. Bill, I am not in the app. Got about 20 points ago, but I like the base. Like the base in A-Lab. Have option spreads on both stocks. Robinhood is the best. I used to use Robinhood. That's actually what I bought my first crypto on, was Robinhood. And then I've used things like Binance, Crypto.com. I've got, Pancake Swap, Uniswap. I've delved into the crypto realm before. Right now I just use Webull. I like Webull. All right, so Groy again. It's gold. Gold is moving. Look at lower left, upper right. This royalty 240 right now. Look at the valuation, still on the rise, almost $3 that valuation. I like it. Uber, this one looks really good actually. Coming off those highs here. Where was the high? Probably about $97. Coming off that a little bit here. But again, 3 still above the 8, still above the 20. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of these stocks are not showing the weakness yet, right? Now, if you're in a stock and it just crossed below the 20-day EMA and the primary wave's flashing, that stock you might want to, reassess, right? Here's one, AAOI. Big move to the upside here. 3 remains above the 8. I do got 3 wicks at the top, right at the same level here. The high around 28.86. If you're not in it, let's get above that high, right? Be careful, Uber. Yeah, Uber. Oh, wait. Shoot. We are starting to see that roll over in Ubers. Yeah, so just be careful with that. AOI. HIMS failing to get into the gap, right? They got into the gap, but we're seeing some rejection right now. Still overvalued. NEGG, I mean, look at it. It's what, $40 now? Up 39%. This is what brought me. I am number 1 in the VectorVest company right now with our employee contest portfolio. Up 100 and... Hold on, what screen is it on? Let me pull up VectorVest here. Or I may not be able to because I'm logged into the mobile app. 131.96 We still got half the year to go. That's my employee contest portfolio. I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't even overthink it. My trades, for the most part, is going to be rare earth and NEGG. Again, this is more of a... Well, I had to catch up. Someone was at 126%, and I can't catch up, playing it safe. So I had to be a little risky, and the risk paid off. All right, but NEGG, yeah, see that little bit of wick there? Not too concerned. Marvel... bought NEGG 18, making a killing. Hey, Sorero, did you buy it from my video? And I'm going to tell you right now, I've said this before, my videos that don't get good views are typically the ones that I'm putting out. I'm not doing all kind of, search engine optimization. I just want to give you good information. Those are the good videos. If you see a video, 20, 30,000 views, 15,000, whatever it may be, I'm not saying it's a bad video, but I was inclined to make that video just to get the views, right? And BBAI looks like it's working out perfectly. Like I said, we'll probably get that pivot. I think I was aiming around 550, and I think we're back into the 6s now off the 7s. 0 follow through from the day after that video. So hopefully that pivot advice on the BBAI video, help give you some guidance there, because I know it's hard on some of these high flyers here. Bought it before, then saw your video and stuck with it. Yes, great advice on SoFi. Thanks. Yeah, of course, Brad. Now, SoFi, I like SoFi. I cannot complain about SoFi, but it's a short squeeze. It's 13% interest. Their interest float is a lot less than NEGG, right? So at this point, it could be anything. What if China plays nice on rare earths? Would that be bad for U.S. firms? Bill, great question. I think in the short term, any deal with China with rare earths is going to create volatility, put a little pressure on these stocks, right? But it's going to create buying opportunities. And why do I think that? I said it 2 weeks ago. I think it was AMA. I don't know. I've done a lot of live streams since Glenn's absence, right? The comment is that even if we get a deal with China, we still got a problem, which means our whole supply chain of these rare earths, critical minerals, all this stuff that's needed for semiconductors, AI, quantum, all that good stuff is still reliant on China, right? You saw the Pentagon. They had enough of that stuff. They said, no, we're going to put $400 billion into MP materials to make sure, right? They're adding a second smelter for magnets facility. I think we're going to see that a lot. UAMY, MP, other little mining companies. I think it's only going to grow. We got a huge problem here. It's national security. It's not just, a little problem. It's a big problem, right? Because all China has to do is just turn off the faucet. And obviously, we've got our own things we can hold against them. But yeah, I think these stocks are not are going anywhere. USAR, a little overvalued, in my opinion, even with VectorVest software here. Ryan is not getting the views on his videos because he ain't singing. Facts. Oh, Tabula. All right, maybe I'll have to practice over the weekend. But yeah, as far as the UAMY, the UUU, the MP, UAMY. I mean, it's coming off that pivot. I think it's undervalued still. I still think UAMY is a good play overall, and I don't think this antimony stuff or rare earths, whichever one you want to talk about, that problem ain't going away anytime soon. Cause think about it, because once you're gonna potentially you might see more departments of government, probably defense, obviously, since most of this is national security, make investments. You're gonna see pops in companies here and there. You're gonna see deals, expansion. Because think about it, if China, I think the article was 2023, China alone was responsible for 70% of our rare earths, right? Like we had a little fraction. That's just China, let alone Russia and some of the other countries. So we have to multiply our rare earth, smelting and refining capabilities and all that stuff. So there's about to be huge investments in this. And I don't think it's Ryan does countries like Gabon has precious metal. Does countries like Gabon, that's Africa, right? Is that Africa? I don't know. I'd have to look. I know big countries to look out for. Canada, Greenland, Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine. And obviously, we've seen the Trump administration, make comments to these countries about rare earths and stuff. I get the importance, the comments. I'll leave that up for your interpretation, but I do get the importance of these things because if we don't get them, they can shut down the economy pretty quickly. All right, we got to get through this. Bank of America, lower left, upper right. I will say this about Bank of America. It's right on that 20-day SMA. So if you're thinking short-term swing trading, maybe start to get a little defensive on it. If it's just a buy and hold kind of stock, probably let it rock. Check out the 40-day. REMX is Van Eck Rare Earth. Look at that bad boy. Pop, boy. That's the Van Eck Rare Earth. So if you want to play the space in general, REMX. But again, some of these things got to let the dust settle because there's going to be a lot of news with this, right? A lot of news. The last news was with the Pentagon, with MP. O'Reilly, that's consolidation all day. I'm not going to give quite an opinion there. Wait for the breakout. All I'm going to say is the stock's overvalued. Earnings per share is rising. Nothing too crazy. Let's go to 6-month chart here. Yeah, it might be due for a big run here soon. But it's a little too early right now. We got Unity Software. I'm pretty sure Unity, is this the one behind Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto 5? Because that can help push the stock as well. You can see it's very volatile right now. Extended from the 20-day simple moving average. I would be less of a buyer right now in this position. Let's go to 3 months. Let's see if we can hold that 8-day. That's the blue line in the middle right now. Let's hold the 8-day. Buy on rumors, sell on news. For the most part, that typically is, how it works, right? Here's UAMY. This is a good one here. This is little pivot that we're seeing right here. You see this little prior swing high? Me in a prior swing high. Look at that. Found a nice pivot. This was your entry. I think I've mentioned this like twice. This entry here over the last, what was that, about a week ago, since last week. But yeah, honestly, UAMY, closer to $2 you can get it, probably the better. That's just going to be my opinion on UAMY. But I don't think this drama is unfolding. And it's gotten real quiet when it comes to China-U.S. talks. So we'll see what happens there. But here's another one. We got Medtronic, value on the rise, price action on the rise. We are giving up those gains today. It's a filled-in candlestick, right? We have a big gap up, but giving away. So, yeah, I can't get too excited about this one right now. We're right at this resistance zone here. Let's stay above this resistance zone before we get too excited, right? But if this resistance zone, if we get complete rejection, let's see what happens at this support here. And that support is right at the 8-day. So that might be the level it wants to catch it at. Here's SoundHound. SoundHound, this has been a stock that's been pumped before. You see it went from $9 upwards to $13, pulling back now. This is my pivot. This is the retest, right? Right on here. It's swing high. That's the retest I'm looking for. We're right there at this level. So come Monday, if we can take out today's upper wick, that high is 1235. Hey, and if we get the primary wave up Monday, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but when we get a primary wave up, we get a pivot taking out today's high, SoundHound might be a good momentum trade here. Here's BBAI, right? The 20-day SMA was just shy of $5. I think it said $5.50. And I also mentioned this gap here, right? Take a look at that gap. But I'm thinking, you can definitely get a better deal on Big Bear AI. Just be curious. President of Gavin made a courtesy call with Trump. Where is Gavin? MDXG, this is exactly what we don't want. Value declining, price action declining. If this is your stock, I don't know. If you bought the dip a week ago, protect some profits. If you've been holding this thing since $9, at some point, you got to cut your losses. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, and then we're out. We're done. Look at that. 109. We're only 9 minutes late. Perfect timing. Everyone who has access to VectorVest 7 software, the mobile app, check us out. The community room, 2 o'clock, an hour from now, Eastern time. Yes, 2 o'clock. Sorry, I don't know why I thought about that. Good short. Honestly, that may not be a bad short, Mary. That may not be a bad short. I don't really short a lot of stocks, to be honest. I might do options, but I'm more of a bullish trader than a bearish trader. I stick to what I'm good with, and I'm much better I guess you could say guessing or whatever. But yeah, I'm much better at bullish strategies than I'm bearish strategies. That's just a thing I've learned. Bearish, I've done all right in it, but I'm just better at bullish. I've actually never shorted a stock. I've just done options. But yeah, if it's shortable, that's exactly the kind of candidate you're looking for, right? Nice steady eddy to the downside. It's jumped up. Now it's overextended. We're seeing that rejection, right? So yeah, that would probably be a good short candidate, not gonna lie. And it is fully valued right now at 655, trading at 666. So it's an okay candidate. We do have a search in Unisearch for short candidates. Oh yes, I did want to talk about Marvel. Sorry, I don't even did that. All right, this is gonna be the last one. We're rolling out of here. Oh wait, no, I want Marvel because you know me, I'm always a sucker for a semiconductor. All right, we got Marvel down slightly, but the market not too crazy. Fully valued, rising earnings. Fundamentally, everything's checks out. Comfort index, obviously, a lot of the semis haven't hit a new high. All right, let's take a look here. Let's look at the chart. Let's go to 1 month. I'm gonna take off value. Yes, it just crossed below that 20-day simple moving average, didn't it? It's a good stock because it has a high VSD. It might give a little more leeway. And if you look here on some of these other 20-day moving averages, like this one here, drop below. So we're seeing that. What's the low here? The low is 71, which is probably right at the support here. I mean, you're sitting right out at the support zone. It's probably about 69. See what happens around 69.70. All right, see if we can hold above that. I see the weakness with the 20-day moving average here. Normally I use an EMA, but this one's a simple moving average. It's not going to be much different. We're seeing the rollover in those moving averages. Yes, you got the right idea. It is showing weakness right now. But for me to really be concerned, I'm thinking that 70, 69 level, right at that support there. Just because these other times it was pretty short-lived under this 20-day. So yeah, we're pretty close to it. So yeah, I got a little concern on Marvel, but I'm not quite ready to say give it a sell or say the trade is over or anything. Alrighty, let's see here. Marvin says orange is good for the scurvy. They have cannibalism in Gabon. Oh God. All right. The comment section getting a little rowdy on a Friday afternoon. All right, everybody. You guys enjoy your weekend. It looks like it's going to be beautiful weather here in North Carolina. And some of you, I will see you here at 2 o'clock in just a few. And we're Stock Analysis Power Hour. Bring the stocks. We'll analyze them. You guys have a good one. Take care.